So Sultai, Karn, Tezz, if you haven't seen this before, it's one of the next week workout. It started as blue-black, and we added the green splash, so I was pretty happy with that. So we've got, basically the core is Karn and Tezzeret kind of pumping out some Dorkarouge. We've got a bunch of card advantage between Treasure Map and our various Planeswalkers, quality removal spells, and Trophy and Vraska's Contempt, and then Scriptures as our sweeper of choice. And then it kind of all gets tied together with some controlling elements. Yeah, I've played the Azure Gateway Jeskai control deck. You can find that on my YouTube channel. Just not a huge fan of it. I prefer the Jeskai decks that can actually kill people. Yeah, I agree. I think Karn's a very good card in general, and if you can build a deck to leverage his -2 on top of his +1 and -1 being good, there's really something here, I think. As always, there's an exact deck list on your screen if you need access to it. You can type !deck and check to get a link to the deck list. The Karn list on my website right now is a couple cards different than this one. I'll probably update it to whatever we finish on later today. You can find a bunch of past videos to check my website too. So if we finish this stream today and you're like, this deck is sweet, I want to see more of it, you can find previous iterations, how we've built to get to this point on my website. Mono red, sweet. I actually really want to play against mono red. I have no idea how this matchup is. Aggressive. If we'd been on the play, this game might have been okay. I think we're gonna be a little bit too slow on the draw here. Wow, that's brutal. All right, so they've got 7 next turn. I'm going to, I just can never beat this experimental frenzy though, right? I guess I have trophies in my deck. I just gained 3, right? They don't have lands. Yeah, I'm just gonna gain 3. In. This Fountain of Renewal is about to punch the clock and go to work, chat. I love you. I have Discord and I'm a sub. I can't get the two connected. Make sure you're using your desktop. So you cannot get into the subscriber Discord using the mobile client. My wife brought me Taco Bell because she's wonderful. Definitely, I think we're easily going to win this game because of the fountain. If we win this game, it's 100% going to be on the back of this fountain. Huh. So do I Erasure Trophy here? Or do I Karn down tick? I think I want a Karn down tick. And I'm gonna mute off it and eat this Taco Bell real quick because it's delicious. Well, that's good for me. Let's get rid of that one. That's perfect. It's gonna allow me to win the game very quickly.
There is great power in the feet of men. Please stop.
Stand aside. I despise tyrants like you.
So this game's over, right? Like Fountain of Renewal means this game is over. plus the trophy too, right? The trophy also means it's over. Ah, perfect. Yeah, actually, so someone asked about meat at Subway. Subway is actually the most vegetarian-friendly place you can get food from because you can replace the meat on anything with beans. That felt really good. That felt really good. Is this a Scriptures matchup? I think Scriptures might actually be too slow here. I am a vegetarian. Yeah, some Subways have veggie patties too. And I feel like there's more variety at Taco Bell. Subway's a fine place as a vegetarian, but I prefer Taco Bell. I don't like duress against red. I'd rather bring in negate than duress. Oh, did I say Subway? I meant Taco Bell. If you go to the Jeskai Control page on my website at Kelly's, it should have all the times I've played Jeskai Control on there, including with the Azure Gateway. I don't know if I want these other cards. I can maybe see either of these and maybe negates, but I kind of like the cards I have in my hand at the moment. I don't like duress. Thought Erasure only gets the pass because it helps us hit land drops. Stamina Dingo. Time to strap up my work in the Hoaglandia salt mine now that I've cut my teeth in the fields with my shovel. Thanks for the 3 months. Welcome back. No, most restaurants today have a good selection of vegetarian stuff, or we'll pull meat out of things. Burn one fountain. Let's go. Someone asked why I'm a vegetarian. I'm a vegetarian for a very simple reason. I don't really care for how meat tastes. I think I'm gonna plus Karn here.
I am part. I will defend my ally.
Deal. All right, so like Karn gained me 6. I think that's fine. Wow, okay. Am I dead? Nope, not nearly. Don't mind me, just killing your stuff. Yeah, I'm saving trophy for Frenzy. Maybe this map, honestly. Could be this map. Get some Karn structs going here.
Cannot withstand a righteous army.
Do I want to just kill the map? Did they scry top? They scry top? Yeah, I'm just gonna kill the map. This is gonna draw the 3 cards eventually. It does ramp them into a Phoenix or a Frenzy if they have one in hand, but I'm also gonna like get enough Karn structs going here that I could actually just be aggressive this game potentially. Yeah, someone asked how long I'd been a vegetarian. I've been a vegetarian for about a decade now, and I became a vegetarian when I turned 17 and moved out of my parents' house. I didn't want to be. I thought it would be inconsiderate to like tell my mother I wasn't gonna eat the food she made for dinner. Great. I would like another Karn struct, please. Let's wrap things up here, shall we? Experimental Frenzy is potentially very scary. It depends on how good the top of their deck is here. Yep.
Best this will not deter me.
Do I want to draw a card here? I think I'm high enough that I want to draw a card. It makes my Karn struct smaller, though. No, I think I'm just supposed to keep my Karn structs 4/4s. Yeah, man, that felt really good. That felt super clean. We were on the draw both of those games too. I don't know if this deck is it. I really hope a good Karn deck comes out of the PT. Maybe somebody else smarter than me built it. This deck feels good, but there's a competitive deck somewhere in this format that utilizes Karn's -2. Just has to be. It's so powerful. Join the circus because you're a carny now. But what colors have we yet to test treasure map with Karn? We've hit most of them at this point. This hand's incredibly slow. I don't think Sai is a playable Magic card. So we started with a blue-red Sai deck. And the problem with Sai is that Sai requires you to put a bunch of artifacts in your deck. And there aren't a lot of playable artifacts in Standard. So whereas Karn likes when you have playable artifacts, but doesn't require you to, if that makes sense. They could Storm Tamer this Thought Erasure here. Yeah, the goal is Resolve Scriptures. I think one of the strong suits of this deck especially is that this deck isn't really playing any cards that I would consider embarrassing to make the artifact cards playable. Like Thaumatic Compass and the Fountain of Hope are arguably our weakest cards, and those cards have consistently been very good for me. Treasure Map and Compass work well together too, because Treasure Map gets you to 7 lands faster, which flips Thaumatic Compass faster, which is nice. Let's see what they have here. See if they have a Jhin. If they have a Jhin, we'll just slam the Scriptures. If they don't play another threat, I'll probably just activate Compass. was going to activate Compass plus Fountain here so I can Tezzeret next turn. I started with Karn and Tezz. Spires are not legendary. Neither of our cards that flip into lands are legendary, which is nice. I really wish they'd play Jhin so I could slam this scripture, but it might be right to slam this scriptures anyways, honestly. Yeah, don't misclick on scriptures today. Fingers crossed. Huh. I could just Compass and then activate Compass again. The compasses aren't flipping for 2 more turns though, and I'm taking 3 a turn basically, because I'm gaining 1, taking 4. Yeah, I think they have Wizard's Retort. I think I'm just gonna do this. I feel like I can flip these before we die. If they have another Trickster, I'm gonna be in a lot of trouble. Okay, no instant speed threat is very good for us. There's 5 basics in our deck, so I've got 2 more basics to go fetch, which is nice. And like, once I flip both of these, we'll be in a very good spot, right? I think I just pass her. I'm pretty confident they have a counterspell. Now, unfortunately, I only have 1 more basic in my deck, so I actually can't get 2 more lands with these compasses, which feels a little bit bad, but I think that's fine. And actually, once these compasses flip next turn, I actually have the board locked up, right? Because I'm fogging 2 of their creatures with the Spires of Orkaza. And then I'm gaining 1 and taking 1. Arena's really good. You will not be sorry. So these are going to flip. I'm going to play Karn. I think I want to try and bait a counterspell here. Sweet.
You are only hurting yourself.
You're only hurting yourself. Stop killing her. Stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself. To be fair, Standard hasn't been this good in a decade. Zeroth, thank you very much for the brand new tier 1 sub. No, there's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch. Thanks for supporting mine this month with that. So I have 2 Spires, so they can sack the Storm Tamer. Oh, geez, am I dead? Did I just die? I just died exactly, right? Yeah, wow, that sucks. I don't know that I had anything I could do here. Because like they had the Wizard's Retort that whole time. No, the Storm Tamer sacks to counter the other one. Yeah, and then I take exactly 8. Man, that's brutal. We were so close to stabilizing there. Our hand was pretty clunky for this matchup. We were pretty close to stabilizing anyways. Post board, we get to sideboard, we get to mulligan a little bit more aggressively, and I get a bunch of removal and some more discard, which is nice. Trim some of our top end. I think a lot of the staples in here are pretty reasonable and cross over into other decks. This is definitely one of the more expensive decks to build on Arena because it has a lot of rares in it and mythics, but the rares and mythics in it, Phyrexian Scriptures is the only card that only sees play in this deck, and even that's kind of okay in other ones. Oh, Golden Demise is pretty good too, yeah. Yeah, I decided not to play next event. I put a main deck Eldest Reborn in Pike. What am I trimming? The Erasures are just too expensive. Yeah, I would believe that. Duress is probably fine because it's 1 mana, but Erasure's probably too expensive. Tezzeret makes flying blockers, which is pretty good in this matchup. Do I just trim Relic Seeker because she's so expensive? And just like plan to win on the back of Tezzeret and Karn? It's probably not unreasonable. It's possible that 4 Scriptures is wrong too. I could see a world where splitting the Phyrexian Scriptures with Ritual of Soot is correct. Scriptures is much better against Carnage Tyrant, but we have discard spells and like Constructs to block Carnage Tyrant, so it's possible that this is like not necessary to have 4 Scriptures. I don't think Hostage Shaker solves any problems that this deck has. So when you're making changes to a deck, you want to ask yourself a simple question. You want to ask yourself the question, what problem does this deck have, and how am I working to solve it by making the change that I want to make? And I don't like problems that I'm envisioning this deck having. I don't think a 4-mana Hostage Taker solves. I feel like this deck has a ton of card advantage in it, and any issues that this deck is going to have is going to be based around people getting under it rather than going over the top of it. And Hostage Shaker is kind of a card that's good against mid-range as opposed to aggro. And that's why I think Ritual of Soot might be an okay consideration, because Ritual of Soot is a card that can help us stop people from going under us. I'm going to get rid of that, looking for a black source here. We have 4 copies of Assassin's Trophy if you're up against the Immortal Sun. There's a deck list on your screen. If you're on mobile, you can type !deck in chat to get a link to the deck list. Yeah, I poured it in the Golden Demises. Yeah, standard is very popular. So Modern making me salt off was good for my viewer numbers today. Thanks everyone for dropping by. 1,700 people here is really sweet. When's Milwaukee? Milwaukee's in 2 weeks. If I still like this deck after the PT, I might try and find cards for it. It didn't misclick. Step 1, didn't misclick. Daleune, thank you very much for the brand new Prime support. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch. Thanks for supporting mine with that. I've found a copy of Pirates already. So I might try and find a copy of this if I still like it. I think this deck has a higher raw power level than Pirates. Viper Strike! Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for the Prime support this month. No, it's the format too. I definitely think Arena helps for the viewer count, but the format helps as well. They cannot, so Phyrexian Scriptures doesn't target, it just destroys everything. This deck could use Antiquities War. I don't think so. Again, just like ask yourself the question, what problem am I solving by making the change that I'm adding? And Antiquities War is a card that grinds people down. And this deck doesn't need to grind people down. It already does that. It already draws way more cards than most decks in Standard. Can you write off money you spend on Arena and Magic on taxes? Yeah. Yep. Every dollar I spend, the computer I stream off of, all the equipment that I have, all gets written off. All business expenses. I'm gonna keep the treasure map because that lets me draw more cards. There are a lot of people that only watch Arena. I definitely think the success of the current format is a mix of both Arena being great and Standard being great, though. I think that's just too narrow. I think your Blue-Red Phoenix matchup with this deck is actually pretty reasonable tracks. We have a lot of quality removal, and Phyrexian Scriptures is very good against them. Lets you exile the birds permanently. So risk factor targets. So the keyword you want to look at for if risk factor is gonna, if Stormtaper is gonna be able to interact with a card is the card targeting something? Yeah, I agree. It's possible that my 4th Scripture in the sideboard, though, would be better as a first copy of Ritual of Soot. That, like, maybe 4 Scriptures is overkill. So they have Dive Down. That's fine. I have multiple removal. I'm going to take their card advantage. Yeah, I think Scriptures is a reasonable card in the Golgari sideboards. I saw some deck lists. Actually, someone submitted a Golgari deck, or we played against one or something that had it. And that's where I got the idea for including a deck like this. Scriptures is very good against Golgari as well, because exiling their graveyard makes their find brokers and their finds much, much worse. Play design team is what you're looking for, Draven. Hey, look, it's exactly what I wanted for Christmas. Oh, I tapped my... I had intended to draw a card with Treasure Trove here, but I guess we'll just play map now. So we'll take 5 more down to 9, but then the Fountain of Renewal is going to slowly build us back up. But it understands when things are over. I should probably turn the auto tapper off, because there was this one time I was careless and lazy with it. Yeah, the more I think about it, the more I might make this 4th Scriptures in the board a Ritual of Soot. I think hedging green, black, and Drakes means playing all Scriptures in the main is good, but I think most of the matchups I want the extra sweeper in. I would rather it be Ritual of Soot. The Fountains have been so unbelievably good, and I think the reason why Fountain has been so good is this is a deck, like we keep talking about how good this deck is at generating card advantage, and this deck draws so many cards that it's very willing to trade a card in the early game for points of health. And then eventually it turns back into a card, right? Like eventually you just like pay a thing and it turns back into a card. Thanks for getting out and voting yourself, Particle. It just doesn't do anything that we need to do, Mark. Again, just like look at the deck, think about what problems we're solving by adding this suggested card. I just don't think we're solving a problem by adding that card to our deck. I think I'm shocking and passing here. I'm just gonna go ahead and Moment of Craving something on their turn. So if I Moment of Craving something on their turn, they're going to be able to counterspell it. But they could counterspell me with Dive Down now anyways, and I kind of prefer they use their mana on their turn cycle than on my turn. Like, puts them behind. I don't think I want to kill something in response to this opt, because my opponent's best chance to run away with this game is sticking a Curious Obsession. So if they have a Curious Obsession here, they're going to need 2 counterspells to protect their stuff, basically. Would River's Rebuke be better than Ritual of Soot? Nope. River's Rebuke, that's the one that costs like 6 mana, right? It costs like an obscene amount of mana. I think I'm actually going to kill Siren Stormtamer here. Sure. Yeah, that just doesn't do even remotely the same thing. Ritual of Soot is for decks like this and potentially mono red. That's perfect, so I can do that, play this Compass, and then next turn I'll jam the Scriptures. It's possible I should hold up Cast Down this turn to try and cast down the Siren in case they hold up Wizard's Retort. Do I just jam into a Retort here? The fact that I drew Craving makes me think I don't need to jam into Retort here. I think I'm going to take it slow. Oh, you know what? I sequenced this wrong. I'm gonna miss my 2 points of health now. Yeah, that was dumb. I was gonna play my Cast Down this turn too, so I should have cast down the Siren Stormtamer and then Craving the Sprite. So I should be 2 higher here. So if I lose this game by 2 points of health, that's my fault. That's a pretty big mistake on my part, honestly. So I could jam the Karn here, but I think I'd rather just get the Spire, this Compass going, hit all my land drops. So, should be 2 higher. Hopefully not going to matter here. Feels like this game is snowballing into our direction. The Fountain has been very, very good. Yeah, I just wanted more land drops, 2 tracks. You know me, I'm a big fan of just like casting every spell I draw, and Memorial's very good at that. So I think at this point I'm okay with Scriptures killing these 2 things, and I'm also okay with getting a counterspell out of their hand here. I think this is fine. This means the next threat I draw can resolve. And like I have double removal spell here now, so bye, friends. This deck feels great. I'm gonna swap the Scripture for a Ritual Slit in the board, I think. I think any deck that I want the 4th Sweeper against, I'd prefer it be a Soot. I don't know what this stupid Sentinel Totem is doing in my board. I don't know what I want to do with that slot. I'm gonna put another Contempt in there. So I was talking about that the other night with Matt, and I never did it. I'm gonna do that. That slot was basically for the Phoenix deck, and I think having an extra Contempt is pretty good against the Phoenix deck too. Just beat the 2. Yeah, it did. We did. We just beat the two aggro decks in the format with our deck that just like outgrinds all the control decks. So you know. All right, I need to run to the restroom really quick, and then when I get back, we're gonna play this deck for another hour and a half or so. So don't go anywhere. Thanks for hanging out, folks. I don't think Silent Gravestone's good enough. I think if I wanted extra graveyard hate in the sideboard, I wanted to be able to exile things. So the idea behind the Sentinel Totem was that it could exile Phoenixes before they come back into play, and Silent Gravestone doesn't do that. Silent Gravestone stops like Rekindling Phoenix, and it's good against Golgari Findbroker and Find Finality, but like we have Scriptures to beat against those cards already. Yeah, it's fine. Not amazing, but fine. Do Golgari impersonation here for a hot second. It's really slow. Like, incredibly so. This deck's very good against control decks. You just dismantle them. You have too many cards that generate card advantage, and you have discard and counter spells to force them through. There's a deck list on your screen. You can type !deck in chat to get a link to the deck list if you don't have access to the Stream Decker widget for some reason. Sweet, looking like Esper control. Could be Esper Amulet. Could be Esper Amulet. Radical idea kind of implies it could be Esper Amulet, which means our Assassin's Trophies will be very good. I have no idea. So like we just beat mono red and we just beat mono blue, which if you would have asked me yesterday, I would have said mono blue and mono red were gonna be the hard matchups, but they felt like we were really competitive there. So I actually just don't know. All right, so they're playing Esper Amulet, which means we're on the Karn Struck plan here.
Awaken.
We're gonna go Karn down, Karn down, Karn down, new Karn, Karn down. Get down with the bad Karn. Yeah, the Bant Fog matchup's probably not good. This matchup might be hard too. I don't know, the fact that we have trophies probably pretty good for us. Yeah, the adorable little Karn Struct, he's all ready to go play Halo. Do kids today even know what Halo is? That game was so long ago. Oh, they just remastered it. Okay, that's good. Whew. Whew, I'm hip. I know what the kids are into. Look at this. And this is sweet too, right? Like this, we haven't had a game like this where we're getting to be aggressive with our Karns. And like Treasure Map makes these Karn tokens real big, real fast. Yeah, they're definitely playing Amulet. Oh, this was dumb. I'm dumb, chat. I'm activating this compass. Sequencing. Sequencing. Bad Jeff. Bad Jeff. That one can stay right there.
There is great power in the things we make. I will fight for my friends.
You gotta fight for your right to Karn. Do 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 do. Do do do. Do do do. Metal Man Aggro, yep. I would love to get some lands. Huge, huge tracts of land. Maximum carnage. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if this matchup is hard for us game one, but post-board we get a lot of really good tools. Yep, that one can stay right there. Grow, my Karnstructs, grow!
To come. Brilliance comes easily.
I mean, if they would have jammed Amulet on curve, we had a thing for that, right? We had trophy if they would have had Amulet on curve. The opponent's likely not playing counter spells. They're likely playing the Esper Amulet deck that we played on stream before. The choices we make reveal who we are. You're so deep and philosophical, Karn. We very rarely make Thopters with Tezzeret. We could be dead here. They get 2 turns in a row. If they have double Amulet, we could die. Dig, dig, dig. Yeah, hopefully Trophy is going to be what pulls us through. Like I said, this game, this is a matchup that's going to be bad for us game one, because we've got a little bit of wrong half problem going on with hitting, hitting cards like Vraska's Contempt and stuff like that. But post-board, we get to like cut our Scriptures and our Contempts and bring in Duresses and Negates, which is nice. I did cut my copies of Thief of Sanity from this 75, which is potentially a big deal. I don't know. I feel like if we win this matchup without Thief, we don't need it. This does bode well for our hero. Yeah, you could play on Mortigo if you really wanted to. So I'm gonna draw 2 cards here, because ideally I want to find a Thought Erasure.
Let's see how you respond to genius.
Ideally I want to draw a Thought Erasure so I can, like, check for what's going on. So I can use him to just straight up draw a card. There's 4 Thought Erasures and 32 cards, so we're pretty likely to hit one here. Yeah, maybe I was too aggressive here because now they're not lethal. I don't know. They have a bunch of things that, like, exile. They have a bunch of things that gain them life anyway, so, like, being exactly lethal isn't even that good. Yep. I'm out of basics in my deck, and I don't want to shuffle cards I've scryed to the bottom back in. So play Hinterland Harbor here so I can hold up double trophy. What do you say counters deck? I have no idea. Probably decks like this in Bant Fog. If I had to venture a guess, I would say that this is not a good matchup for us. I don't know that I would expect this deck to get too popular, though. It's pretty expensive to build. Price might keep some people out of it. Yeah, the Vraska downtick making treasures has been so absurdly relevant. Yeah, but Just Guy Control is like a known good deck. People are less likely to invest in a deck that's partially a brew. Like less proven. I know many Hoaglandians are gonna go out and buy this deck because it's awesome and they like awesome decks, but like I don't expect, you know, 1,700 people who are watching right now to go out and buy this deck, right?
I know what must be done.
Alright, that's a Thought Erasure. So, am I doing that to start? I think I'm doing that to start. What are you doing over there? I can actually kill this turn probably, right? Because I can Vraska downtick double trophy. That can stay there. Oh, the Spires are good against it too. But Chromium blocks my Karn Structs is the issue. Does he actually block my Karn Structs though? He doesn't actually block my Karn Structs, right?
Awaken.
He does once. Yeah, that's true. Oh, that was a punt. I tapped my lands wrong. I have treasures, so it doesn't matter.
Evil cannot withstand a righteous army.
I guess I could have treasure tokened. The Spires of Orkaz have been really good in this deck. This card's been a card I've been really impressed with the Thaumatic Compass. Just consistently overperforms. Stop it. Bad dragon. I'm gonna do this now because it's resource efficient. We are in fact currently ahead. Yeah, cast Ravenscribe. Good, good. Alright, so let's start by hitting this, which makes our Karn structs huge. Looking for a Thought Erasure here. I want a Thought Erasure to make sure they don't have, a Settle the Wreckage. Bye, friend. And now they're dead, right? Yeah. Got some Karn struck aggro going on, chat. There's a level of Karn struck aggro in the morning. The sideboarding is so clean with this deck too. Ban Treasure's too strong, right? Why do you, do I want some of these Contempts in my deck just for their chromium? Or would I rather have Fountain of Renewal to cycle? I'd probably rather have this to cycle and make my Karn structs bigger, right? Like, I still have 4 trophies in my deck to kill Thief of Sanity. This was a build around initially. So someone donated for me to build my favorite Karn Tezzeret deck, and we started with blue-black, and we've slowly been tuning it into this. When you pay paper, do you buy your deck outright or borrow? Usually I borrow. So like I've already found someone to lend me Elves for the Invitational, and I have Pirates borrowed for Milwaukee, but I might try and find a copy of this. This deck's kind of awesome. Anybody going to Milwaukee and have a copy of this they would like to hand me? Anybody not going to Milwaukee to have a copy of this they'd like to mail me for a weekend? I think I'm happy to board like this. Is Scriptures? Yeah, Scriptures is very good. It's a card that the Exile Graveyard Clause is very relevant on it too in a lot of matches, which makes it excellent. Alright, I mean, let's take their toys away. What an incredibly rude Magic the Gathering card. What an incredibly rude Magic the Gathering card. So I think I'm just gonna put this Compass into play and then just hit my land drops for a little while here. They're gonna try and turn off the carnage, chat. You can't stop the carnage. This Karn train's got no brakes. It's just rolling right on through. If I made a copy of this for both of us, possible to see if I get a second. That would be awesome, Johan. No, I'd rather just like activate my Compass here. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and Fountain. So I know they have Stroke, so obviously we're gonna want a Thought Erasure before we do anything here. But I just want to make sure I hit every land drop this game. Watch this win the Pro Tour, right, BDP? I hope it wins the Pro Tour. Maybe they'll say my name on coverage and send people to my website. Dear Watsy, please send people to my website. Watsy wouldn't allow that. Yeah, the Pro Tour is this weekend, believe it or not. So Stroke's the easy take here. Don't need another land because I've got Compass feeding me lands. That's true. If I go to a Grand Prix, there's a chance they put me on round 1 coverage. Because there's some people who know who I am, and I definitely don't have bias for Milwaukee. All right, well now I just, who would I rather resolve here? I think I'd rather Tezz resolve, right? Because he like draws 3 cards. Or 2 cards, however many cards he draws.
You have no place. You're still one step behind.
That's really good. Oh, this deck is great. Tezz draw 2. You know what's better than 1 Howling Mine? A double Howling Mine. Vraska wins the game quickly. Do you realize that when we win the game, we have to start drawing cards? Fountain is in this deck as a method of buffering our health total and getting cards out of our hand early. It also replaces itself later, so it has a pretty low cost of inclusion. Cold logic will always win. Do I play around a counterspell here? I think I just want to jam the Vraska. Because, like, Trophy can kill this even when it flips.
Make way for your captain.
The other deck has 1 Chromium in it, and it wins by looping infinite turns with Primal Amulet. I feel like they probably should have opted in response there, because they could have found a Negate or a Disdainful Stroke for Vraska.
You won't be needing that.
So, like, here's the thing. I genuinely don't know what this deck's bad matchups are, because I would have said all 3 of the last decks we played were going to be bad for us. They've all felt fine. They've all felt fine. I would like to take your... Oh, they don't have white mana. Why did I take their Nova away? Whatever. Immortal Sun turns off Planeswalkers on both sides of the table. How much percentage from real price renting a deck in paper? I have no idea. The site I used to rent cards from when I was traveling to play a lot of paper went out of business. So usually when I'm paying to rent stuff, it's renting from individuals. Oh, geez, I lost my 3rd artifact, chat. I lost my 3rd artifact. That's so sad. I have to make a stupid Thopter now? Make a stupid Thopter. I can draw 2 cards again.
A master builds with ease.
Stupid. Make a thing that attacks, I guess.
My crew is the finest in the seas.
We are still playing Pirates, that's true. Look at all of our hit points, chat. We're winning by 7 points. They can never catch up. This is Sultai tokens. It's perfect.
I know how this ends.
You know what would be perfect for playing this deck in Milwaukee too? Is I have 3 different Hoaglandia Jester tokens, and this deck needs 3 different tokens in it. So obviously I can write Karn Struct on one, 1/1 on another, and 2/2 on the third. It's just perfect. It's meant to be. Nagate. Destroy all creatures, but that gets rid of my Thopter that I need to draw 2 cards a turn, opponent. How am I supposed to draw 2 cards with Tezzeret if you kill my Thopter? This is in their discard pile, right? Yeah. Opponent is a true monster. Take no prisoners. Poor little Thopter never had a chance. Little Thopter. Vraska ults at 10. Not 9. That's other Vraska that ults at 9, right? Thopter. Thop. I was thinking about playing another deck after this one today, but I think we're just going to play this one for the next hour. What's your opinion on Grixis Death Shadow in the current Modern metagame? Modern doesn't have a metagame. You should just play a deck that you enjoy playing that has a proactive game plan. And Temur Battle Rage plus Giant thing is definitely proactive. We beat Red the first match we played today. Felt pretty reasonable. If you're someone that's new to my content and interested in seeing not only more of this deck, but more standard content for me in general, you should head over to my website after we're done streaming today in about an hour, jeffhoagland.com. You can click videos at the top and there's a standard section. There's also a standard decks button on the navigation on my website where I have a bunch of decks, including this one, broke up on there, and you can find playlists of all the times we've played that deck on stream. So basically everything I stream goes on my YouTube channel and then my website. Mono Red. All right, so definitely want a Thought Erasure. Man, these turn 1 renewals. GG's, Bulldozer. I thought for sure your deck was going to dumpster ours. Well, this is just the Pyromancer, right? And then I'm going to bin that so I can go tap land and then Karn on 4 already. I guess an untapped land I have to shock to play this untapped. Yeah, I'm planning a second standard stream tonight. I think I'm going to do some Modern to make up for the fact that we ended Modern early tonight. I'm going to do Modern Friday morning because I'm not streaming Friday afternoon because I'm going to be watching the Pro Tour. Oh, look at that, opponent. What if I undid your shock every single turn? What if every single turn I said, no, 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 undo your shock? You know, I'm going to turn on auto-stacking triggers because this deck never needs to order them. I'm going to play Scriptures out so that way I can have a clean board for some Carnage next turn. And now, like, Scriptures puts them in this weird spot where we get to control the rate of play, right? Because, like, they're not going to play more creatures this turn because Scriptures kills everything next turn. So, like, I'm guaranteeing myself an empty board this turn. And, like, they can kill my Karn here, but if they kill my Karn, they're, like, not dealing 6 to me. And, like, I'm gaining so much life that I think that's a win.
I'll make use of that later.
Yeah, 2 good ones. Ship it. Ship it. Yeah, more Carnage. All right, I'll take some more Carnage. Why would they give me another Karn if they're gonna shoot Karn? That's so weird. That seems, I don't think they're winning regardless of what they do here, but like that seems like a loose play. Y'all were worried about the Pro Tour breaking standard. Didn't realize it's gonna happen here, did you? Is this list the same as the most recent YouTube upload? It's close. I've been making changes as I played more. So Magic Arena is really addicting, and I play Magic off stream too these days. What is Scriptures for? Killing all the creatures in play. There's a couple of small changes from the list we played on YouTube yesterday. I had made changes from the YouTube list before we started today because I played a couple matches last night off stream. And like, we are a little bit low on action at the moment, but like, even if they burn this Karn out, we're at a high enough health total that we might be able to just crack these Fountain of Renewals and not feel bad about it. I've also got a draw 2 sitting on the board here in Memorial to Genius.
Do not feel pain.
So the competitive events are called competitive. yeah, bye friend. Decided their time was worth more than that one, I guess. All right, cast down, craving, soot, contempt, cut eldest. I think Tezzeret's not quite good enough here. Yeah, what do I even want to trim? Is Compass too slow? Compass is probably too slow. That's 61. We trim Scriptures. I wonder if Scriptures is good enough in this matchup. It might not be. It might just be that we just like want to lean into all the spot removal. Because I'm at like 9, 12 spot removal. Maybe I just don't want those. No, I think you want Negate before you want Duress. Gold Demise could be fine here on the draw. This doesn't kill Phoenix. It doesn't kill Chain Whirler. I'll put one Negate in my deck. Can't wait for the Pro Tour top 8 of a PT Karn Tezz deck. That's fine. They can claim ownership. You know, it's just, this idea isn't exactly out there, right? Like, we just put Karn and the few good artifacts in the deck together. Yeah, I'm gonna leave one Negate in. I think that's fine. Let's do this. The Frenzies in my sideboard are primarily for the Adanto Vanguard matchup, which we haven't played against yet today. So for people wondering like why I'm not bringing in Golden Demise here, those are for the Adanto Vanguard / Astria Benalia matchup. Woof. I think I bin this and just dig for lands. I think I just want to hit my 4th land on curve this game. Probably see second Steamkin smack us for 2. Chain Whirler. Okay. I think I'm just gonna map and take a hit here. I want to try and hit Contempt on curve. I might be a little bit too far behind this game. Kind of clunked up a little bit here. I probably, maybe I should just trophy. Maybe I should have just kept trophies and accept that I was gonna stumble on lands and trade 1 for 1 for a minute. Yeah, maybe that's what I was supposed to do. I don't think we're just dead. If we hit an untapped land, like if we hit an untapped land that doesn't hurt us, we're in a very good spot. Bottoming that feels bad, but it's definitely necessary. Nope. Okay, so we're going to 4 this turn. We're not going to 4. The scribe bug is a lie. You've all been told lies, children. There is no scribe bug. So we're going to 4, and then we're going back up to 5. If we hit a land that doesn't hurt us, we should be in a reasonable spot next turn. But we need to hit it naturally. I can't scry into it. Yeah, I like them leaning into this here. Close. Close. This is on 1, right? Yeah. That's fine. We get to play game 3 on the play. Yeah, Magic has some variance in it, and one of the ways we reduce that variance is by playing best of 3s. Yeah, I think that game confirms that I just want 1 golden demise in my deck. I don't think I ever want to draw 2 of that card while it's dead. Will not end particularly well for us. The scribe bug exists to make Surveil look better. Yeah, this looks great. I get to go tap land on 1 into removal spell, removal spell, removal spell potentially. I don't have my life gain artifact, which is one of our better tools in this matchup, but I think this is definitely a keep. The problem there, Life, is if I scry and I hit an untapped land, I then have to bottom it because I'm dead on board. So I think we're more likely to hit an untapped land there in 1 draw than we are with 2 shots at a Craving or a Cast Down. The scry bug, for those that are new to Magic, refers to people are paranoid and think that when you scry a card to the bottom of your deck and then you draw that same card, that there was a bug and it never actually scried it to the bottom. Played Blueback Pirates to a PPTQ top 8 Sunday, and it felt great. Thanks for all the great content. Thank you for the support. I appreciate it. People who do enjoy Pirates, the deck is still sweet. Be sure to check out my article today on coolstuffing.com. I wrote a full primer on that deck. Thought Erasure helps me hit my next land drop here. We thinking about shocking me in response? Double Legion War Boss. I think that's okay, actually. I would love a land. Because I can just, like, kill these before they make tokens, right? The video Saffron Olive with 3 copies of Paradox into the field, scries a 4th to the bottom, and draws that magical line. Sure, but that doesn't mean every time that it does that, that happens. I'm gonna put a stop on my opponent's main phase here, because they're gonna play the Legion War Boss, and I'd like it to not make a token. Yep. No, you don't need to full control. You can just click here to put a stop on their main. So Legion War Boss, for those that aren't familiar with it, it makes a token at the beginning of combat step. So you want to kill this before they get to combat so they don't get the token. So clicking here gives me priority before we get to combat. So you can see it says combat on the button there when I click it. So same thing again. So I'm assuming they're going to play a War Boss again. Sure. That's a little rough. I think I just need to Contempt this Runaway Steamkin. It sucks that I'm gonna have to burn the trophy on the Legion War Boss then, but I don't think I can afford to not use my mana this turn. Just get too far behind. That being said, I'm gonna get to, like, trophy their play here. Trophy their thing. Nope. No play. Okay. Hey, Bose Lightyear. Bose Lightyear, thank you for the brand new Prime support. Welcome, welcome. You don't need full control, chat. You can just click on the stop. Yeah, Phoenix is rough here. Frenzy is, that doesn't really matter. I think I'm obligated to kill this. We're playing Arena because Arena's great. And normally I do Modern on Wednesdays, but I got really fed up after playing Dredge this morning. Just had too many bad Modern games. I just was too frustrated and was not going to make good Modern content, so rather than not streaming, I decided to fire up the standard queue. We kind of have a problem with War Boss. Like, Vraska kind of matches War Boss on making tokens, right? Me too, Namachill. I thought for sure Artifact was going to bury magic in the ground, and after playing a bunch of Arena, I feel a lot less that way. I feel that way a lot less. So they get to kill my first pirate here with the shock, and then Legion War Boss plus Vanisho chip Vraska down to 5. But then, like, if I draw any amount of reasonable spells from here, we'll be okay. We could definitely flood out and die this game, but I think these lines I've taken have made sense. Am I going to try Artifact? Yeah, I'm going to play a little bit of Artifact. The people that I know that have played Artifact so far have all pretty much said that Artifact's constructed format isn't good, which makes me sad because, like, all I do is play constructed in TCG, so if their constructed format's not good, it's really not the game for me. So we'll see. I'm going to give it a fair shake. I bought a beta key from PAX, so when it goes into open beta, I'll be able to play it. Arena's a video game. Why do people like to play video games? Why do we have Doom? Why don't we just play Doom from 1995 when we play first-person shooters with better graphics? Graphics are fun. Video games are fun. Sweeper! Yeah, the open beta's like the week before. It's not... I'm gonna go ahead and scry one here. Deal. The other thing, too, is Arena's not just better because of the graphics. Arena's better because of the speed at which you can play games. The rate of play on Arena is much, much faster than the rate of play on Magic Online ever could be. Yep. The running burn spell theirs was very bad. I mean, to be fair, the EV of playing the Artifact tournament is probably better than the EV of the Pro Tour. The EV on the Magic Pro Tour sucks. Nobody smart plays Magic for the money. The only people who are playing Magic for the money are people that are really bad at math. I don't know. I don't know if Artifact's any good. I haven't played it yet personally. I have a key. We're gonna play it on stream when it comes out for a little bit and see if it's good or not. If it's good, maybe we'll play it a few hours a week on stream. I don't know. Magic's great and Arena is awesome, so I don't really know. Once upon a time, I was really waiting for Artifact to release. Can you just like draw a brick? Can you just like draw a 7th land? Draw like a random 1/1. Yeah, I've got 1 Ritual and 1 Golden Demise in my deck at the moment. I only have 2 sweepers in my deck. I did trim a lot of my sweepers. I wasn't expecting Legion War Boss out of my opponent. I agree. I think if WotC gets it, the future of competitive Magic needs to be Arena. Vraska's Contempt, Bob. All right, so this trades here. Vraska goes to 1. I have hit 2K before. My record for concurrence is 2,300, but this is a high day for me. The fact that I got fed up with playing Modern was very good for the viewer count today. Vraska has gained a ton of life. You're not wrong. Have you seen an increase in subs with the increased viewer count in Arena? I don't really have a good metric for that. So like my channel still, so for people that are newer to my channel, I've only been streaming full-time since the beginning of the year, so my sub count has kind of just like slowly gone up the more I've been streaming, so I don't really know that I can credit, like, my sub count has been increasing, but I don't know if that's just because of a normal natural growth curve or because of the increased viewers from Arena. It's kind of hard for me to figure out exactly where those are coming from. We're probably dead to this Flame of Keld. Their series of top decks here were very good. Fenelorus, thank you very much for the Twitch Prime support. Welcome. Thanks for shipping that this way this month and keeping me employed. Yeah, I agree. Watching people shuffle is very boring. All right, so we probably have one more shot to draw Ritual of Sodor Golden Device here. This sideboard configuration seems prone to flooding. So, I'm just gonna time you out instead of arguing with you. So one of the things that you need to be useful of, and this is actually one thing that a lot of people don't keep track of. So we've drawn 17 cards this game. I've drawn 8 lands and 17 cards in my 26 land deck. So while I have drawn what feels like a lot of lands, the ratio of lands to spells that I have drawn is very close to the average makeup of my deck. 26 lands in 60 cards is very close to 50%, and just under 50% of my draws were lands that game. And that's the thing, the idea that like my configuration was prone to flooding, in what way was it prone to flooding? Like what change did I make? Don't just use buzzwords. I left corporate America to be a stay-at-home dad and then a streamer because buzzwords suck. We gotta get more agile on this project. This deck needs more tempo. Can we get some less flood in here? We're too prone to flooding postboard. What does that mean? What did we do that made me more prone to flooding? Like, that's to give me specifics. Tell me you did this and it makes flooding happen as a result, because otherwise I can't understand why you think what you do. I get enough of that garbage at work. If anybody who's done software development knows all about needing to be more agile, okay? Why would we want less than 26 lands? Our curve is still incredibly high. I'm gonna CC you on my future emails. I'm a project manager in software development. My buzzword game is strong. My favorite would be when I would talk to people. You know when you make small talk with people, they tell you like, all right, what do you do for a living? They like tell you their job title. And like when 90% of people tell you their job title, I always have to ask the question like, all right, but what do you do for a living? They're like, what? I was like, if I followed you around at work for 8 hours, what are you actually doing? Because like most people have just these stupid BS titles that it just like doesn't actually tell you even remotely what they actually do for a job, right? Take these proactive cheers that will synergize nicely with the new safe model we're implementing. I think you're seeing terrific velocity. I agree. Fantastic velocity on this project. It's just like, and communication's important, right? So like buzzwords like that, basically they obfuscate. Is that the word? Obfuscate? Is that how you say that? They remove clarity from communication that people have together. So I chose not to Thought Erasure on my turn because I know they have 2 counterspells in their hand. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play Assassin's Trophy, targeting Search for Azcanta here, to hopefully get them to use a counterspell at their end of turn, so that way I can untap and resolve a card. What do I tell people I do for a living? I tell people that I turn on a webcam at home to make streaming video content for an audience that is primarily men in their early to mid 20s, and I work for tips while I do it. And obviously, the only thing that could lead them to is that I stream video games on Twitch. There's absolutely nothing else that could mean. We have a continuous improvement position where I work. What does that mean? All right, so we're gonna trophy the crap out of this Azcanta because it's the only thing they have going on. It's gonna flip next turn. I'm gonna play this treasure map out. So you're saying is you're a cam guy? Yeah, basically. I told you I was an ISSO. What did you think I would did? I would think you're in search of something. So they have Contempt here, but like I don't have a discard spell anywhere in sight. So like if Karn draws me a land that gets Contempted, I think that's a win for me. I'm like they're on nothing, and I have like another Karn in a treasure map. Goalie, thanks for the $20 tip. I appreciate that. Here's your pay for the week. Could you please look over the status report and touch base with me next to help me determine the bottlenecks of the project? Please set up bi-daily status calls to update us on progress of the status report. Oh gosh. The classic, this is a meeting that could have been an email. That might have been worse than the buzzwords in corporate America. This is a meeting that should have been an email. Like, why are we here? Why did you make me schedule and find time on calendars with 3 people?
An excellent choice.
I am currently standing. I have a desk that goes up and down, so I split my time like 50% sitting and 50% standing. Keeps my legs moving a little bit better. Shake it for me. I dance for the dollar. That's why we have the Jester dance on screen. It's so good. It really represents Hoaglandia, dancing for dollars. Yeah, maybe I'm supposed to start constructing their best way. So this is actually an interesting point. So they don't have anything in play right now, but I'm actually going to keep this Vraska's Contempt, because the question you want to ask yourself when you're in a winning position like this is, how does my opponent get back into this game? And I think the answer to how do they get back in this game involves a Teferi, and Vraska's Contempt gives me a clean answer to a Teferi. Artifact is as fun as trigonometry class. I've heard a lot of people say that. I've heard a lot of people say it's just like exactly like having a math test. Or Eldest Reborn, that's true. Eldest Reborn is very good here, and that would allow them. Karn Struct insulates against Eldest Reborn. Listen, I have a master's degree in mathematics. I love math tests. So maybe Artifact's the game for me. Maybe Artifact's the game for me. Artifact hits open beta a week before it releases because Valve can't meet a deadline. Oops, did I say that out loud? Whoopsie! When did I add Eldest Reborn to this deck? Last night. There goes our Artifact preview card. I'm not on the cool list. I don't have enough whatever it is you have to get Artifact preview stuff. They've given Artifact preview stuff to a bunch of Magic people, but none here. To be fair, Valve's not really doing much advertising. It's basically all word of mouth. Yeah, right? So I had someone ask me how this deck beats Carnage Tyrant, and I was like, have you met my Karnstructs? They are ready to rumble. Yeah, I played like one match with Nexus of Fate, and I think Nexus of Fate just fell into it wasn't solving problems that I have, it was just being cute. And the other thing is, like, Valve seems so weird. Buy yourself whatever you drink. Thanks, Steva. It'll be something fruity. Fruity is great. Valve doesn't seem to care about a strong Twitch presence, which worries me about people that want to make artifact content too. So I don't know. There's a lot of things that like as someone who makes a lot of content, it's just like, well, maybe this isn't the game for me. All right, and that's the danger to going in on Karn structs in this matchup. Game 1 especially, they have all their sweepers and stuff in their deck still. So I'm gonna go ahead and Karn down tick and grab this treasure map. Hey, Life SSBM, thank you for the 10-month resub, and Vague Hype, thank you for the brand new tier 3 sub. Whoa, thank you for the generosity on that. I appreciate it. My tier 3 subs get to add a deck to my queue every month, so be sure to fill out the form linked on my website for that. Or if there's a deck already in the queue you'd like to bump up, you can drop me a message privately about that. Maybe I'm supposed to draw a card with Treasure Cove first, so I can try and hit a Thought Erasure to force this through, because I kind of want the treasure map to resolve. It scries 3 times and then draws me 3 cards. The artifact NDA is quite possibly the worst handled beta NDA I have ever seen. It's really terrible. This like partial, they can talk about some stuff and can't talk about other stuff feels incredibly mismanaged. So I'm gonna shock this in and draw a land with this before I flip it. This feels incredibly strange to me. Like, they did like this spoiler season for the game that wasn't released, and they'd like post a card and people be like, oh, maybe this card is good. Then people who have played the game under the NDA for 6 months come out and are like, this card's actually terrible. We've been playing with it and it's bad, and this is why it's bad. It's just like, well, that killed all the buzz and hype for this game, for this card. Like, the spoiler season's awkward because people don't actually know what the game is. And then, like, the people under partial NDA, like, made it worse.
Good choice.
Like, it feels like they should have been like, you can't talk about anything or you can show everything. And, like, those little things make me wonder if Valve's gonna know what they're doing. Yeah, I like Blue-Black Pirates more than Mono Blue as a tempo deck. I actually wrote a full primer on Blue-Black Pirates today on Cool Stuff Inc. You can find it there. Man, our lack of a Vraska or a Tezz this game early has been really brutal. The Bron Subligar, thank you for the tip. TM, Karn Strux, and Carnage. Could you update this deck list tonight on the site? Yeah, definitely. Yeah, whatever I finish with today, probably gonna play this match and maybe one more depending on how long this takes, and then I'll update it on the website for sure. Poor Karn. Why haven't we sacked our fountains? I'm probably gonna do that at the end of their turn here, because like I want to have a lot of mana the turn I sacrifice them, and like this turn if I sack them I'd have to discard cards, although I guess I have cards that are poop, so like it's like 6 in one hand, half dozen in the other. Man, have they not played a Teferi yet? Do they have Teferi in their Esper deck? Like, Teferi has to be what they're splashing for, right? I'm through 3 Assassin's Trophies already, so I don't have a ton of answers to this Azcanta, which sucks at the moment. I think we just have enough card advantage. This deck's issue generally isn't being outground. Although this game we've had a little bit too much wrong half problem this game. Just too many cards that we're gonna sideboard out. I have no idea. Every matchup we play seems very winnable and competitive. If they counter this, I'm gonna pack it in, I think. Yeah, maybe I'll play Treasure Map. Now, with that Azcanta going, if they counter this, I'm gonna go to the next game.
We should discuss our differences.
Can I make one argument for you? Yeah, you're not wrong, Jekyll Girl. All right, I'm not gonna do a full shill here because we have to sideboard, but Arena died. That game was too grindy for Arena. It took a 30-second break. Let's load it back up. I'm gonna shill after this match. These people are great. I'll tell you all about them in a second, but let's load back up and sideboard here really quick. How do you like the outcome of the midterm elections? About what was expected to happen happened. I conceded because at that point I was very unlikely to win the game. The most valuable thing you can learn about playing against control is when the game is effectively over. The game is always over against an opposing control deck long before your health total reaches 0. Actually, these fountains are useless. The compass is better because it hit lands. I think I want any of these. Seems good. Look at that. That's so clean. I can always tell when I built a deck because I think about the sideboard plans a lot of the time. So like everything that came out was easy and everything that came in was easy. You had more cards and his health was low. So they had Search for Azcanta in play, which was drawing them a second card that was high quality every single turn, and none of the cards in my hand had an impact, could have an impact on the match. So I had a bunch of cards that didn't matter, and they were going to draw a card that mattered almost every turn, guaranteed. Yeah, I agree. Armor Choose. It loads right back up. Oh, this hand's so good with the black source. I'm going to keep it. They're not going to pressure us, so... Black is the most common color in our deck. I think I've got 17 or 18 black sources. And Compass. Compass technically turns into a black source too eventually. We could brick and die here, but I think this is a fine keep in a control matchup. This is a matchup where I can afford to miss and not die because of it. He says before his opponent plays turn 3 Thief of Sanity. Now, I think Muldrotha is generally just a win more card. Like, what it's doing, its effect is just like, you need your 6 mana cards to have a faster impact than what it does. Now, the splash is pretty much free. Splash is plenty free. I scryed at their end step and my untap. Come eat pizza. I did both was the answer. No, there's no Field of Runes in this deck. Putting Field of Runes in your 3-color deck is, let's say, ambitious. I'm a big fan of casting my spells. Perfect. So I can go Duress into Karn here, which is great. Alternatively, I can just go Duress Thought Erasure. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go Duress Thought Erasure. Like, they have negates and strokes in their deck right now, probably, so I'd prefer Karn don't run into either of those. Cover up, stroke, double Contempt. I think I just take the stroke here because cover up is hard for them to leave up. And then as much as I want a counter spell or a discard spell here, I think I just have to... Oh, I could play Karn, right? Nah, playing Karn isn't worth losing all my treasures. Like, all these treasures turn into drawing cards. And they have these Contempts in their hand, so it's definitely not worth it. Yeah, like, Karn draws, like, the worst of 2 cards on top of my deck at the cost of, like, my 3 treasures, which is, like, not a good exchange for me. I'm just gonna jam. Sure.
This will not deter.
I wonder if I'm actually supposed to jam Vraska there. Like, what's more valuable, a 2/2 pirate or drawing the worst card of the top 2 on top of my deck? That's actually great for us because it gives us something to down tick onto. So I'm going to get to Relic Seeker down tick here. Maybe I should draw after, because this exposes me to Syncopate. So if they loot into Syncopate.
My mission is more valuable than your life.
Well, all my planeswalkers are going to end up exiled here, unfortunately, because Vraska's Contempt's going to exile them as well. So, like, this Vraska killed their gateway, took a card out of their hand, and is going to draw a card via my Treasure Cove. Just, like, good, clean amount of value there. Oh, that's true. That's true. Could only sync for one. Good catch. That is a phenomenal draw. I think I just get Karn going here ASAP. Just want to start generating a critical mass of cards. Yeah, I think so. I really like this deck and how it plays. To our record with this today, we lost one of two. We lost one match to Mono Red. Yep. Yeah, puts a Karn in our graveyard for Eldest Reborn later, so that's nice. And try and dig for another discard spell or a negate or something here. Although I can't Vraska plus negate this turn, can I? Another Eldest Reborn's not bad. I'm gonna see a draw 2, just to sabotage, yep.
Enough.
Why should I play Reborn? They've got a lot of cards left over here because they've got 2 Chemist's Insights to jumpstart. Perfect.
I won't hide from the world any longer. Keep up the pace.
And like, not only have we been jamming must-answer threats every turn with this deck, but we've also been jamming, we've also had discard spells mixed in there, right? So I'm actually gonna lead on Contempt in case they have a counterspell here. Because if they have a counterspell, they're gonna protect Teferi with it. Perfect. Alright, don't have a second one. Bye, Felicia.
Plan B.
Probably steal their Teferi at this point. So we're gonna lose our second Eldest Reborn here. Should hold on to this Hinterland Harbor. They left in Ritual of Soot. That's funny. I guess we did, like, aggressively put Karnstructs into play. And, like, they have Jumpstart cards to jumpstart them away. I would like 1 Teferi, please.
Sorry I'm late.
So, our Eldest Reborn drew a card, killed their Teferi, discarded a card from their hand, and took a Vraska's Contempt. So it's like, it's not bad, not terrible for us. I wonder if I do want some Thief of Sanities in the sideboard still. I have a couple of slots that I'm not 100% on, but like matches like this Thief would be good. Of course, they're like leaving in things like Ritual of Soot. It gets less good. They're through 2, 3 Contempts, so our Planeswalkers are a lot more likely to stick at this point. Yep. They know about this Vraska's Contempt. They saw it with the Duress.
Let's skip to the good part.
Yeah, they've resolved 2 Chemisters Insights, and they have 7 lands to our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So like we've drawn like 50% more lands than them. At least have they discarded any? No. So both sides have generated a bunch of 2-for-1s here. This card's not particularly good here. Yeah, we drew a bunch of cards too, so there's 35 cards. I guess we're both through equal numbers of cards in our deck here. Yeah, it's possible that, and I'm glad we're getting to play this, right? Because like this is like meaningful testing, getting a feel for how it goes. I feel like maybe I do, because like this Thaumatic Compass probably shouldn't be in my deck post board in this matchup. I didn't have something else to bring in. Like hitting land drops is occasionally good, so there's a chance that I might want to finagle my sideboard around to get 2 more cards in my deck for matches like this. No, Compass Transformation is a must.
You are acting unwisely.
You are acting unwisely. It kind of lines up against sideboard Thief of Sanity. Like by the time you hit the compass flip, like Thief is like run away with the game already. Yeah, if I really wanted to slam dunk, Carnage Tyrant could be playable. So this is something about managing your discard spells. I want to hang tight on the Thought Erasures for a second here until I have a card that I want to resolve. Because like if I Thought Erasure now and my opponent doesn't have anything that I care about, I basically wasted the Thought Erasure. Needs more tempo, right? Yeah, I don't think we're gonna be able to beat the Search for Azcanta. No, I don't think you can afford colorless lands in our 3-color deck that needs Assassin Trophy early. Yeah, we're just gonna get buried by this Azcanta, so I'm gonna play one more before we call it a day. So clearing a path more than taking from your opponent. Well, I know they don't have anything proactive in their hand, Sublagar, because if they had something proactive, they would have played it already. So their hand is either something reactive to answer one of my plays, or it's nothing. And like, if it's nothing, I really don't want to play my card. And if it's reactive, the reactive card is still going to be there later. Yeah, Treasure Map was good. I think there's a chance that I need to revisit the... Let's take a 30 seconds to revisit the sideboard now. So like, how am I boarding? What did I want to cut against them? So against them, I want to cut Cast Down and Scriptures and Fountain of Renewal. So I've got like 8 cards that I want to trim on my deck. Honestly, it might even be 10 cards. Like 8 to 10. And right now, if I look at my sideboard, I have 6, 7, like 8 to bring in. I'm not convinced I need these sweepers in the board. In fact, I feel like there's a chance I should just do this. And like maybe do... That seems fine. Let's do that. And that moment there where you saw how I counted how I planned to sideboard in the matchup, that's the correct way to approach building sideboards. You want to think through, all right, how is my main deck constructed? What cards, how many cards do I have to cut? And then look at your sideboard, how many cards do you have that you need to bring in? That's the best way to approach. That's how your sideboarding process should always be easy if your deck is well built. If you're struggling to figure out how to sideboard a matchup, generally it means that you haven't thought about that matchup appropriately. Yeah, it could also be that with the proactive discard that I have in this deck, that Vine Mare could even be a better threat than Carnage Tyrant. Vine Mare comes down sooner and really runs people down. We have plenty of answers, Fatima. Like, I get that, like, you just watched a game where, like, my answers didn't line up well into what my opponent was doing, but, like, if you look at my deck, I have a ton of really great answers to all those things you just listed. Fountain of Renewal is good. So the way you want to think about Fountain of Renewal is against the aggressive decks, it's one of the better cards in our deck. And against the control decks, it's very reasonable because it replaces itself. It's expensive to replace itself, but against control matchups, you can afford to wait for the card to replace itself, basically. I mean, like, by the time Doom Whisperer comes down, I'm gonna get to draw more cards. Like, the what's it called? The Disinformation campaign was just gonna bury us deep in the ground. So that definitely had to go ASAP. No Blood Operative this turn is actually really good for our Karn, which is nice. Go ahead and do this. Karn kind of negates Disinformation campaign in a nice way, because he just gives us an extra card every turn, so it doesn't need to be a high quality card to bend to Disinformation campaign. I think you can't realistically cast double black spells in black-white pirates and blue-black pirates. You need to do some basic math. I guess hyper-geometric distributions aren't necessarily basic math, but you need to do some math in general if you think that you can cast a black-black spell consistently in the pirates deck. So, Search for Azcanta is better than Compass against Dirtle decks, and like we've played 2 Dirtle decks in a row now, but Thaumatic Compass helps you not die in a lot of matchups. Hitting land drops is very important in a deck that's mana hungry like this. So Treasure Map can help scry us into more action. And I think I just need to trophy this Eldest Reborn here, otherwise it's gonna bury us. Yeah, Tezz is not particularly great at the moment. I'm excited to immediately queue into a matchup where Carnage Tyrant sounds good, though. No, I think I'd rather scry. And like, we're getting rewarded here, right? Like, seen an answer for this this stupid Doom Whisperer. The problem with the Doom Whisperer here is that we're not pressuring the opponent's health total, so they're gonna get to surveil a bunch even if we find an answer here. We're gonna like draw Vraska now or a Tezzeret and hate ourselves. That also counts as hating myself. They get to Disinformation campaign plus operative this turn and just bury us in the ground. I'm gonna crack this in response. The problem, chat, isn't that I can't protect it from Disinformation campaign, it's that they have the Blood Operative to follow up with, which insulates the Doom Whisperer from the Eldest Reborn. That's the actual issue. Again, just like Magic's not a game about beating the thing that's on the stack, it's about having a cohesive game plan to beat your what your opponent is doing overall. So like, this isn't the problem. We have this for this. The problem is this for this is the way the plan comes. Whoa! They just did nothing. Deal. So we're getting counterspelled here, I assume. Alright, I'm gonna call that one there. maybe this is it. People have been asking, what are your hard matchups? I would not be surprised if Disinformation Campaign Pile of Grind ends up being the answer to that. Oh gosh, I was like, where did all my cards go? I was like, these things are, where are they at? Is this a Scriptures matchup? It's probably a fine Scriptures matchup, actually, right? Probably not all of them. Bring in the extra Contempt. Yeah, that's true. I think I like the Duress over Negate since they have counter spells in their deck. I think Duress is fine. Stroke seems good. They've got some more expensive stuff. Let's give this a go. I just really feel like everybody who, you should go watch more matches with the deck. I feel like people that are like super caught up on like, we need Carnage Giant, you just don't understand what the deck is doing. Like, I agree that it's a powerful card, it's fine to like board in, but you're being super results based, and you need to focus on the matches that you've played with the deck as the whole. I'm not even convinced I need Carnage Giant in the sideboard. Like, I get that we've hit a couple of field bad matches, and like the easy knee-jerk reaction every time you lose to something is, I need to make a bunch of changes to my deck to like fix this. But like, that's just not how Magic works a lot of the time. I'm gonna ditch this forest here. Just don't need all these lands. Your one turn late Duress. Probably should have played the Woodland Cemetery there. This deck's already incredibly good at burying things like Jeskai control. These are the first couple times I've played against other black-based control decks, but I felt super far ahead against Jeskai every time I've played it. This has to be naming Carnage Tyrant, right? Another side effect to how I sequenced my lands last turn, I can't Duress and Contempt next turn, so I'm not going to have triple black. And like, I have these extra black sources, so if I would have played Woodland Cemetery, I could have played Drowned Catacomb this turn and had Duress plus Contempt up. What do you think about adding Mox Amber? I think that sounds really useless. I think Mox Amber is a card that's just not playable. There aren't legendaries in this deck that make it playable. Just like really don't have anything going on with it. Like what, again, just like, dude, instead of making me shoot down your idea as bad, tell me why your idea is good. And if you can make a reasonable, logical argument for why your idea is good, maybe it is good and we can try it. Yeah, they exiled Tezzeret. They have another Unmoored Ego. All right, well, I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna put that in the bin, and then I'm gonna play this Duress. I think they took so long because they were looking at our deck. Did I forget to up this? No, I upped this, right? It started at 5? Yeah, they gave me a land. So over here, I have a Contempt and another Duress. So it looks like they're on low here, but they get to pick this campaign back up and replay it here, which is good for them. Discard an Overgrown Tomb here. What problem does Unmoored Ego solve? What issue is it fixing? My answer to your questions on should you play this card or why should or shouldn't you play this card is always the same, chat. It's always be problem focused. How are you solving issues by making your changes? You think Carnage Tyrant's a problem for blue-black decks? I don't really think it is. You have 4 copies of Doom Whisper to trade with it in combat. You could play Phyrexian Scriptures. You could play the 3/3 Death Touch. Like, there's a lot of good things going on there. I think I'm gonna get a Duress here and cast it. Is Disinformation Campaign a problem? Do you have testing data that I don't have? I don't know that Disinformation Campaign's a problem. Genuinely don't know. I'm gonna hold this Woodland Cemetery to discard here. I think by and large, Unmoored Ego is a trap card. People boarding on Unmoored Ego, for those that are new to Magic, that card wasn't designed for Standard. That card was designed to attack big mana decks in Modern specifically. And effects like that seem very appealing to players. And honestly, I think it's very easy to fall into the trap of Unmoored Ego when you come from Hearthstone specifically. Because in Hearthstone, you're very likely to see your entire deck every game because your decks are so small. But Magic games tend to be quick a lot of the time, and you don't see most of your deck every game. So Unmoored Ego, taking away a specific card, even if it's good from your opponent, in a lot of ways, it's just like they never drew that card. It's not particularly powerful. Moving on up. It's good against Izzet Drakes. Maybe? I mean, like, in like a super ideal situation, I guess, but like, I feel like I'd rather just have a removal spell most of the time. My wife says my small deck is fine and not to be ashamed of it. If you can't beat Carnage Tyrant any other way, your deck's probably constructed poorly. Like, there's literally other better ways in blue-black to beat Carnage Tyrant. Chat, we have 4 copies of Assassin's Trophy in our deck. I have Eldest Reborn, I have Vraska's Contempt. Planeswalkers, permanents, they're really not a problem. We have so many ways to answer cards like those in this deck. Like, again, you just keep shouting out cards to shout out cards, and you're not telling me what solutions they give. Why are they worth playing? They paused like they had a counterspell there, and they didn't replay Disinformation Campaign, so it's possible I'm just supposed to, like, pass back with this map. I'm gonna go ahead and grab Assassin's Trophy from Exile here. Yeah, you don't even get a 1-for-1 out of them. Like, Ego is always card disadvantage. You're spending a card to not take a card away from your opponent. Huh. I think I just want that. I'm gonna start by plussing Karn. He likely gets me a land, and then I can trophy plus Reborn this turn.
I'll make use of that later.
Perfect. Thanks, Karn. I don't know who's winning either, if it makes you feel better. So, just because a card is bad doesn't mean it's not going to win you games. That's like super results-based thinking. It's like saying, I don't know, I don't need a fire extinguisher because this one time I had a kitchen fire and I put it out with a bucket of water. It's like, sure, I believe you that you put your kitchen fire out, but you should probably still have a fire extinguisher. It feels like we're winning. I don't know. Definitely up in the air. Okay. Surveil 4 is a lot of Surveil. It's not that dissimilar from Vampiric Tutor. So I assume they're bouncing my treasure map here, which is like, fine. I get to scry with it some more, thank you. You're like delaying my card draw, but you're giving me more card quality on the interim. I have another Contempt exiled here too. Or you picked up my Karn, sure. I guess I should draw in case I draw a discard spell. Trophy, sure. Trophy's good insurance. So I'm gonna go ahead and play Karn here. It technically costs me a card draw to play Karn since I have to use a treasure to do it, but Karn's gonna draw me a card this turn, so like it's kind of neutral. The way this game is played out, I think I'm gonna cut the scriptures for game 3. That's not a card I'm interested in, especially if, wait, they left the scriptures, huh. Maybe they know something I don't. Maybe they know something I don't. This is good play on the opponent's part. They gave me the better card, so they could Thought Erasure it. That's what happened. They probably don't care about scriptures. They just wanted to take my disdainful stroke. I have like Vraska's Contempt to get rid of Operative though. Yeah, it's very possible I should make a Karn Construct here. Yeah, I have a master's degree in mathematics from Illinois State University.
Oh, say hello to my little.
Now, I think you just want to threat. We have enough ways to draw cards tracks. I think if we want to threat, we just want something like Karn that kills them. Carnage Tyrant. I think it's Vine Mare, Carnage Tyrant if I want an anti-control card in the board. He's dead, Jim. Yeah, I looked into doing PhD programs, but they're really, they just take a long time. Like the shortest math PhD program is like 5 years postgraduate degree. All right, let's just make sure no funny business is going on here. Land, sure. Trophy. I'm gonna bin that. I have one in hand. I just want another threat. The Tyrants are probably fine in the board. It's like having an extra card to dunk these matchups is probably good. People love these Feel Smart decks. And I like the Blue Memorial too. I wish we could afford to play more of them, but we need to have enough basics to make our compass work. This is why we kept the Overgrown Tomb in our hand. You're not alone in that. You're not alone in playing Magic to feel smart, not win games. Deal. You cannot. That is controlled on my end, and in order to have the Deckmaster overlay work, I have to, Oh, this is loose. So this is a small mistake on my part. I should have let them surveil first and destroyed the disinformation campaign in response to the trigger, because then they would have to choose between keeping the card they surveilled into on top of their deck and getting a land out for free. So small sequencing mistake there on my part. So we actually have lethal in play next turn because the treasure map's gonna flip, giving us more artifacts for the construct. Sad. Well, Karnstruct, you did your job. You did your job. You protected Karni. Treasure map is very good. I think this card's underplayed in standard right now. Honestly, I think there's probably green black should probably be exploring playing map plus Karn, at least the bigger versions. I'm gonna sub for a whole human pregnancy. I can't wait for 3 months to pass to abuse my swords. Go down, Teferi. Thanks for the 9 months and welcome back. I think I'm happy with what we did there. Do I want these negates in my deck? I don't think I have anything I want to cut for these. The scriptures don't seem good. It's a pretty clean swap. Let's do that. I wanted to insulate my Carnage Tyrant against a second Reborn life. So I think it's better to just discard a card and make a token. You catch us right at the tail end back. Though we've been playing this deck for over 2 hours. This is my favorite. I think this might be replacing Pirates as my favorite. This deck has a lot going on. It won't give me lunch breaks though. There's a chance I should just keep playing Pirates because I do like lunch breaks. I am a fan of the lunch break, chat. Peace, Fashina. This one named Carnage Tyrant now that they know we're playing it. I agree. It's a good combination. They took Karn. God, they took Carnage, chat. How are we supposed to win without the Carnage? I don't think they have any 4-mana spells I care about. Famous last words. I'm gonna listen to play tapped. Going to 18 is relevant because it means my opponent could kill me with 1 less attack from the what's it called? The 5-mana 6/6. I'm gonna activate this now in case we can find a discard spell. Don't need lands. Yeah. All right, I'm on board, chat. Sign me up. Sign me up. I'm on board. I could have stroked that Eldest there off my treasures, by the way, chat. It would have felt a little bit bad because then I couldn't draw cards with this one, but we'd have been fine. Smashy, smashy. They didn't have mana, Brad. They only had 4 mana. They missed a land drop. They might play this year to try and be sure. Just add your ass to my trophy case. Are we done here? Probably regrets naming Karn now. I agree. Good use of onboard ego. I actually think Doom Whisperer is often an answer to Carnage Tyrant. It just takes the right. It depends on the Carnage Tyrant deck, honestly. This is why ego is bad. This is a great example of why ego is bad. Have a friend, Carney. Are we done here? Good games, opponent. All right, I'm on board for the Carnage Tyrants. I'm on board for Carnage Tyrant. And all right, this deck is sweet. I might need to try and find a copy for the Grand Prix next weekend. We'll see what the Pro Tour does. The Pro Tour is this weekend. Don't make any rash decisions. If you're someone who's on the fence about building a standard deck, the Pro Tour this weekend, for those that might be newer to Magic, is kind of like the pinnacle of Magic's competitive tournaments. I'm going to export this. You can find this on the Stream Decker right now. I'm going to update the list on my website to match this one momentarily. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll be back this evening. Wednesday's my double stream day. I'll be back 5 hours from now. 5.5 hours, about 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'll be live with more Standard on Arena. We'll be playing probably 4 or 5 decks tonight. I do a long stream on Friday night, on Wednesday nights usually. Thanks everyone for watching. And if you want to see more content from myself, as always, head on over to my website, jeffhoagland.com. Click videos, Standard at the top. Find all my wonderful stuff there. There's a page for this deck on my deck list page. We've been tuning it a bunch this month. Having a lot of fun with it. Have a good afternoon, folks.